Starting foolishly.
Starting foolishly as usual. We just cut off in a conversation we were having, but we'll pick that up later. At any rate, here as usual with.
Wait. Now we're live. We've been live for 7 seconds.
Okay. I was just doing introductions. We got Brantley, Proctor, Nick, Tank, Johnny, and myself, Michael. So just let us know if you have any questions about our software or anything else tech related. We'd like you to reach us at foolishit.com/live or foolishTechShow.com, and you can log in to our RC. We have it built in there to a window, or you can launch your own client. Make it pretty simple to connect and chat, and you can remain anonymous if you want to. We don't care. But we're here for you guys, so let us know how we can help. And we love interaction, so even if you want to come in just to poke fun and tell us how silly our green screens are, we'd love that as well. I just wanted to introduce the show, so somebody else can take it from here.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Can anybody else get it on the Foolish Tech Show? Because it doesn't look like it's showing up there.
What the? Okay.
On the site, foolishTechShow.com.
Let me see.
I'm just getting a constant buffer. But YouTube shows us this live.
YouTube shows us this live. Yeah, let's see.
I've got it on foolishTechShow.com.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm just getting a constant buffer.
Yeah,
cool.
It's working for me. So cool. Yeah, so we're good. We're good. We've had some technical difficulties in the past with the show getting started, but we've mostly have those resolved. I think we're just a little overly paranoid. But hopefully the quality's good. And if you have any problems, feedback on the chat or our layout or lag or anything like that, just let us know and we'll see what we can do. We have a fair bit of control nowadays. What was going to be the topic for today, Wednesday, this January?
Well, I think you had some person that you wanted to mention.
I did. You want to roll out the show with that? Okay. I have a particularly nice little ticket that I have here. Let me pull that up. And a gentleman named Tom, I want to just read to you. He wrote, let me see if I can see the text. Yeah. He wrote, to support your fight against the lazy jerks who want to ruin it for the rest of us. Thanks. And he gave us a little bit of a little donation. He bought our product back in, let me see if I can confirm this. He brought our products, let's see. He brought a product back in 2013 from us, and it was Crypto Event 2013. He paid the price for it then. I'm guessing, was it, Nick, was it $15 back then too, in 2013? Is he not with us? Okay, well, at any rate, he loved the product throughout the years. He loved all the upgrades with it, and he loved the amount of protection it provided him, kept him safe throughout that entire time period. And he wanted to, he thought the price that he paid was simply not sufficient. So he donated to us as well. And I just want to extend a sincere thank you from all of us here to you and all of our supporters, but particularly today, Tom. But we have a lot of others that have done that in the past, and we've mentioned them before as well. The list is getting to be a little bit too long to count and recite, but each and every one of you have made our team possible, and we've got some really great releases coming up. Nick has kind of pushed us forward with that, with a couple of quick, smaller updates to Quick Hash and
FGET.
What?
FGET.
Oh, FGET, yes, and FGET recently.
And Kill 'em all.
And Kill 'em all, and Boot Safe, and lots of other little.
And D7.2 even.
Oh, and yeah, D7X, and D7.2. Today was an update for Defunk and D7.2. So it's been huge development. We've been all over the board. It's really been a good, exciting time for us, and and it's all because of people like you, Tom, out there. So thanks again, and we'll stop the sappy stuff now.
Also like to welcome, it looks like we got John G, Martin, Phoenix PC Repair, RTM Tech, and SST Russ in the chat. Not sure if all of them there. I know John G and SST Tech Russ lurk a lot, so they may or may not be there today. But RTM Tech is in there. He mentioned something at the beginning of the show, and he actually mentioned something last night that I caught. He was actually let me pull it back up here. He started off in computers in 1986 on an IBM XT clone running at 8 megahertz, 16 megahertz in turbo mode. Married with 2 kids, and he has an interest in aviation, computers, flight simulation, CFD audio, and music. He earned his pilot's license at 17, and he's also into antennas. So he's also worked in aviation, so he would have a lot of good information on our SDR and plane tracking and things like that, Michael. So
very exciting. I'd love to have some conversations, although I don't think I have nearly the skill and technical level with it as I'm sure you bring to the table. But it's a wonderful opportunity.
You could probably tell us some of the inside tricks and different antennas. He said he's really into antennas. That's what I have I really want to get more into, because figuring those out are a little bit complex.
That's where I am right now. I have a variety of antennas now, and I want to, and I mean, all of them have limitations, and I think with a little ingenuity and some household items and whatnot, I'm sure I could create something a little bit better, and was my more immediate goal, so I'm kind of with you on that.
He also says that his purpose in joining is to increase his knowledge and develop expertise in D7.2, and he's used many tools over the years, and D7.2 looks impressive. So definitely, if you have any questions with D7.2, feel free to ask him out anytime. There are no dumb questions, and we'll be more than happy to go over them all and talk with you about them and give our suggestions and tips and tricks on there. And definitely, if you have any suggestions on the SDR stuff, Michael and I are very much into that. So feel free to just talk about that as well.
Yeah, we do tend to give priority to our, to questions about our software, and we do love to share screens. We can show you very specifics what we're talking about. We can walk you through it, and share again, as he said, some of our best practices with you and our software, and what our thoughts are and why we do it, or why we've implemented features the way we've done. So just let us know.
Hey, Shite, is Zombie in there?
Yeah, it looks like he just joined. Hey, Zombie Worm.
Awesome. Michael, did you talk to Zombie yet?
No. Actually, that spaced my mind. My apologies. I have not talked to Zombie yet about that. But Zombie, that defunk update that we put out, as well as the D7 update, relates to you. And hold on, are we?
If you could try some things out and see if it's working, that would be very helpful.
And also verifying the version of defunk, as it should be 7.something.19. I think currently it's like 1.18, 1.17 or 1.8, but it should be 1.9 as the build number. That released it yesterday. This morning I put the update out for it, and basically I didn't do any code changes to anything. But then again, I didn't before some issues had started. But I did do one thing. I introduced a new application manifest to the D7.2 executables to add Windows 10 compatibility to the application compatibility section of the manifest file. What happened is somehow the manifest file that I used had a capital A for application in the XML and a capital C for compatibility. Apparently, that's a no-no in manifest files. Didn't used to be. I'm sure it didn't used to be. What's really bad is that why it went unnoticed for so long is that the rest of the manifest worked. It invoked a UAC prompt, for example. You saw the visual styles where the buttons are rounded instead of squared off. Those are all things that are done through the manifest by telling the OS what the application is capable of. And one of those things is Windows 10 compatibility. Well, when I added the Windows 10 compatibility, I broke the whole compatibility section. So basically, D7.2 and Defunct have been running sort of like an XP compatibility mode by default when OS runs it. And that's definitely going to cause some problems. And one of those problems is file system virtualization for our user account control for that virtualization. And that issue basically boils down to the thing where you said you were seeing files in places that weren't there when you went there, or vice versa, or something like that. That could be, entirely because of one of the virtualization mechanisms, rather the code failing to look through the virtualization mechanism because of the OS lying to the code because the manifest section being invalid. So essentially what I did today was I fixed the manifest section for all of the code. And then re-released all of the executables with the new manifest that were affected, and among those were D7.2 and Defunct. So hopefully that will fix some issues. May not fix, but hopefully it will fix a lot of them anyway, or whatever you were having. I know that there are some other issues that definitely won't fix, and that's just part of our development now. But as far as getting these immediate crashes or freezes or whatever, I have a feeling that might have a lot to do with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
and I also threw in the new fget program in the modules directory, and the new version of bootsafe 4.1.1, and which I haven't even talked about at all, but I re-released that with the some additional Windows 10 compatibilities as far as repairing safe mode in the event of a malware attack, and that's not 100% foolproof on Windows 8 and 10 yet, and I'm still working on that as part of the coming D7X.
Nick, a question, real quick, if you don't mind. So Phoenix PC Repair, he understands that there's issues with the detection of Windows 10. Would your changes have affected the ability for D7 to detect Windows 10, or will it change the way Windows 10 is detected? Because he's saying that it's
I think Proctor said it's now detected as Windows Vista or something.
Vista Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why the change there, or why, if it went one way, why can't it go the other way?
Because the application compatibility section of the manifest was broken, the Windows 10 compatibility flag was not set for the executable. Therefore, the Windows 10 was always launching D7.2 in Windows Vista compatibility. This is what it did before in Windows Vista compatibility mode, which is the new default for an application that doesn't claim compatibility with anything from XP and above. The new default is to assume it's Vista compatible. That actually was happening because of the way that D7 being the manifest being broken. So it was actually detecting Windows 10 as Windows 8. Well, Michael put out a blog about it a while back, and it was talking about some numbers that they increased in their product, digital product ID, increasing like the second set increasing from 3 numbers to 5 numbers, which there is no code to compensate for in D7. So I'm not really sure what the result would be there. But because of that code being sort of a second
there you go.
When I fixed the application manifest problem, it then just caused a change of behavior in the way that Windows 10 lies to D7. And the way that D7 then tries to pick through the lies is then changed again, and the outcome is different. It's not going to affect any behavior from any internal functionality on because it's always there's nothing different once you get beyond Windows 8, which it will do, which properly. Once you get beyond Windows 8, it doesn't matter because it'll apply the Windows 8 thing pretty much anywhere, like the highest thing, as far as fixes are concerned. They're all generally compatible going upward, like everything that's platform specific, I should say.
I posted that 10 seconds before you, Michael.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I didn't realize.
And that article that Michael wrote about the product IDs is even only half the story. The other half of the story that he didn't touch on at all is the not the digital product ID and stuff that he was talking about. That was like for the additions protection, but the product number. He actually did touch on that. He went from 6.4 to 6.3. I think it's 6.2 now. Maybe it's reported as 6.2 if you're not compatible with 10. It's reported as 6.3 if you are.
The poster back to back. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking. I did it kind of mindlessly. I've got so many windows opened up right now. It's obscene, but my apologies.
I know we talked about you thinking before doing stuff before.
Using the right API and having the right manifest settings, it actually reports as 10.0. It's all weird. Gosh, I have to look at my code now because it works now.
But not in D7.2 and D7.
But not in D7.2. But the code, it's a limitation of the code, and basically the changes are just because of the change manifest. So basically just Windows 10 is going to apply a different quote-unquote compatibility mode for that.
Okay. All right. So, we also had a big update and breakthrough in Crypto Prevents beta testing today. Michael's gone ahead and found a couple more things that I'm going to work on, but hopefully we're looking at a public release soon for beta. We have any other software or news topics or things to cover?
I just want to reiterate the process CP, right? We might be, what do you think, in a week, within a week for that?
Let's not put dates and times on it.
We don't put dates and times on things? Okay. All right. Well, we want to do that as soon as possible. I think it's just about ready to go. I don't see any showstoppers as of yet. There are certainly some cosmetic issues. There's a couple of really tiny, minor usability issues with the way the tray icon works. Little tiny issues, but these are all going to be resolved very shortly. And as soon as we have those last few things done, I think we're gonna put it out, as Brantley said. And I'm pretty confident that this is going to be a huge improvement. We've incorporated in just the past few weeks several additional features to the product. I think that will certainly justify the upgrade and the wait that everyone has been patiently waiting, standing by for. I can't talk today, but thanks again, Brantley, for all that.
Yep. So I came across something interesting yesterday. This place, Scott eVest, there's actually, I think it's a TechCrunch giveaway. They're giving away $600 worth of their stuff, and that's how I came across of it. I don't have the link for that one, but I'm sure you can search and find it if you want to enter giveaways and you're into that type of thing. But why I'm bringing it up is because it's actually pretty interesting design stuff. Basically, they have it's jackets with a number of pockets, and this is something that I have always been interested in, is having more pockets to put stuff.
Okay, so for your pineapple, a pocket for that as well.
These jackets are designed to carry a bunch of stuff, and it has like weight balancing and
And
all
for
kinds
the
of
low
stuff.
price of $300,
They have
right?
pants and zipaways and breakaways, and it looks pretty awesome. I haven't tried them out or seen them in real life,
They look
but
like good quality. I mean,
yeah,
they may
they seem
actually
like
justify
awesome.
the price, especially if you do
I
have a
was not
need.
paying attention for 5 seconds. Are you talking about pockets and pants?
I mean
And
pants
jackets.
and a
Well,
jacket.
they do have pants. They have pants and jackets and all kinds of stuff.
I'm the shorts I wear don't have pockets, and thankfully winter's here. I finally got some pants with some pockets, but I'm wearing the shorts again today. I'm not sure why, but
They,
that's kind of
so
irritating.
they seem to all have zip-off sleeves, or is that maybe that's not all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have zip-off sleeves, and
Wait,
here,
wait. I'm sorry. That's not why I was. Why are we talking about this again?
because I just found it yesterday. Jeez, where?
A coat with pockets?
Look, check
Yeah,
that out.
it's like a coat to stash all your tech stuff in.
Yeah, like it has
You're
a
pasting it in the
pocket
wrong
for
windows. You're pasting it in the
iPad,
wrong-
phone. It's like a tech. It's a tech jacket.
Here, Nick.
Dude,
I'll
That
paste
one's
it
been
in
around.
your chat.
Hello. Think
That one.
Geek and all kind of places had them things. I was
He's in
mad.
the IRC.
Oh, he is?
But-
Okay, good.
But no, that one is their latest version, 0.8.0, and it has 39 pockets in that jacket. How many jackets have you seen with 39 pockets?
That's a lot of I would lose shit. I'd be like, which
Hey,
pocket was
speaking
that
of
in?
losing stuff, speaking of lots of pockets and losing stuff, before I left town the other day,
Mm.
I don't remember. I pulled the extended validation, the hardware key that I have for our extended validation digital certificate that we just got. Yeah, I pulled that out of the USB port and I put in a flash because the only free one I had on top, and I put in a flash drive and copied some music to it. And the bummer was I got to the truck and the flash drive, it's not recognizing the flash drive in the truck. I don't know why, but then the stinking the hardware key, the DigiCert key, I lost it.
Oh no.
But
Well, okay, that's not
that's
good.
not good.
Oh, no. No.
I spent like 2 hours looking for it yesterday until you were like, "Hey, stop shuffling around," and I muted.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
were like, "Stop organizing." I was like,
Well, no, just mute while you can continue organizing. I was like,
"Whatever." I lost.
That needs to be in a safety deposit box.
I guess my point is, well, and yeah, I had a little box, like a little that I thought I put it in, like a lockbox, but.
I don't know what to
So,
say about that.
in any case, how many pockets do you really want? And if you ever wash your coat, do you really want to try to figure out what you've lost in that thing?
well, I always want more.
I have a hard
I
enough.
have my favorite thing in the
coats
world.
down.
My favorite thing in the world. Let me get it. I'm gonna get it. Ah! Going into the danger zone. I'll be right back.
RTM Tech says that would freak out the TSA inspector.
Heck yeah, it would.
I don't know where it was, but I saw a picture of someone opening it, and like it's like mesh pockets, so you can actually see what's in the pockets on the inside.
My favorite thing are these.
So you won't lose it because of the mesh. Okay, there's the solution.
My favorite thing is our super cheap Foolish IT jackets. You know, see those?
Yeah.
Right? The inside has like this probably wasn't meant to be a pocket. It's just a large freaking thing. And it probably wasn't really meant to be a pocket. It's not really,
Yeah,
nice.
it's actually where the fabric's
Boy.
done to make the pocket on
But
that.
hey, you know what though? For the inside pocket. Oh damn, yeah, for the
Does it have a hole in the bottom?
Yeah, mine has a
I
hole
see.
in the bottom.
Duh.
Yeah, mine has a hole in the bottom too, and I think this
it's
has
really
caused
in the
me.
bottom? Mine doesn't.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
shit.
I'm not really
Oh.
clear how this happened. I don't believe there was damage to it. It just
But
seems like,
mine doesn't. It's like my favorite pocket in the world because it's inside the jacket.
yeah, it was my
And
favorite.
It's massive and deep and
It was my
Yeah.
favorite too until I started losing stuff all the time.
I mostly keep my toboggan in one side and then just some miscellaneous. But I can just shove a tablet in there and phones and
Yeah.
chargers and power packs and all kind of stuff. And then my coat leans to one side like this. And
Well, that's what the big thing with this one is it has pockets to separate, so you don't have it all just jumbled in together.
yeah. So you look all nice and uniform, and it takes you 20 minutes.
But they also have weight balancing, so it doesn't just sag all to one side. So that was also interesting.
Assuming you take full advantage of that, with the.
Yeah, well, I like pockets, but.
Man, that's crazy though.
So, John, Nick, I have something that you may be interested in. Apparently, B.o.B, the rapper, came out as a flat earther yesterday, and human cloning.
There's a rapper named Bob.
Yeah. Well, it's B.O.B. He's actually pretty good. I went to see him.
Well, he's got to be called Bob then.
Yeah, you can. But I actually saw him in Boulder. He's pretty good. Anyway, he has a whole Vine thing, which is on that page that I just linked, and he goes through talking about how he's positive the Earth is flat and the human cloning experiments, and he's pretty sure he's got a friend that's a Freemason, and that's why they haven't taken him out yet. And it's kind of funny though, because you continuously see like clouds of smoke and puff up behind him while he's talking about this stuff.
Really? Fascinating.
Yeah. But and also there's something else that Neil deGrasse Tyson is in a rap battle with him about if things are flat Earth or not. So
I think you showed that to me. Do you have a link to that?
Nah, but that was
that was a while ago though.
Came across it. No,
you know what the thing I was looking at, the video.
Yeah, the flat Earth stuff.
Oh man, that was so compelling. But that's why,
Yeah.
But still, it's like, wow, that's.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's a big supporter of it, and he's speaking out a lot about it now. So.
Well, someone in my Google Plus was streams this, and that's why. But the same person, in addition to Flat Earther, he also believes that aliens are here as lizards, shape-shifting. Remember V from the 1980s?
Yeah.
The TV series V.
And the remake.
He believes in that. He believes in that.
Wow.
Exactly that.
Hey,
RTM Tech says he needs to get higher.
Brantley, did you see a very recent story? It's directly related to RTL SDR. Which obviously we're very interested in, all of us now. And I just wanted to mention that link and
neat.
this link, just for people that don't know, and a link to a dongle that they provided.
Before we get too off topic of the last thing that we were off topic about, I also wanted to share this link. I thought that was nice. Now, I've never done any memes. I don't do those. Well, actually, I did one time. I made it in Paint. But no. So apparently, there's the Westboro Baptist Church sign generator. I just thought that was hilarious. Tank almost, I think he wasted a good day or two after I shown him that one. But yeah, this is a little fun for you if you're like the Westboro Baptist Church.
Okay. But just is very interesting. It's very apropos, I think, to our recent discussions, Brantley. I don't know if you checked those out. They're linked to on Slashdot as well.
Okay. There was something else I found about FlightAware. Yeah, check out some of these. These are pretty interesting. Doing heat maps for altitude and things. Those were pretty cool. And let's see if I can find the other one, because there's another one that you can run on Pi. And actually, FlightAware will give you a free copy of software. Yep, PiAware is what it's called, and that is with this link. So Zombie Worm, there's your Pi news for the day. You can run FlightAware with one of these SDR dongles and track planes for that website that we mentioned earlier on the ADSB stuff. So interesting, and they'll actually purchase Plain Water Enterprise Edition and give you an account for that if you're running that PiAware software and reporting back to FlightAware. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Man, I've been meaning to mention this, and I've got to say it, and then I'll zone out. Another Linux Trojan, and people are like, well, it doesn't do it. Oh, you got to do root, rah, rah, rah. This one actually, like, apparently, I don't know, has the ability to record sound. It takes screenshots every 30 seconds and has the ability to record sound. It does not record sound, but it could. It's got the code to do it. It's not used. But it's something, it's just sort of a foreshadowing. I'm not saying this is an issue, but it's a very big foreshadowing thing for the Linux security front. Because it kind of,
again, that's why I prefer to wear masks. I know they didn't approve it. My management here didn't approve my green screen mask that I was going to wear, but that's one of the reasons.
What?
Linux Trojans? Yeah, what?
Oh, no, not webcam access. I'm sorry, just screenshots. Oh, I thought it was going to be shots of the person. I misunderstood.
I would be wearing one of those Guy Fawkes masks. If they did that. I don't even own one, but I wouldn't buy one either, Warner Brothers. But I would make one, and then I would
zombie.
I would wear that if it were.
Which management, Michael? So RTM Tech says that some of the flight tracking stuff has a delay. Is that going off of the ADSB boxes? I wouldn't think those would have a delay.
Yeah, I'm showing very low latency and very relatively high resolution when I'm when I'm seeing it and interacting with it.
And that's what the flight tracking that we're doing. And Zombie Worm, we're not doing it for terrorist incentives. We're doing it to track the terrorists and stop them.
Yeah. and now I know
plane fly off course. I'm calling NSA.
No, seriously, I saw one. I think it was a crop duster, so I think that explains it. But it was doing all sorts of craziness in the air, and I was a bit concerned. And this is, another reason was my concern about my mother's.
I wonder if they already get calls from paranoid folks like you, Michael, with the right equipment and a little bit of know-how.
Well, maybe, but at least it would help if I'll report back if they do contact me or I contact them.
Michael's calling them. Hey guys, are you seeing this right now? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, I need to tell you what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Call me back. I'm sure you have my number already.
Yeah. I usually try not to share my paranoia with them, but if I could get some. If I thought it was worth it, yeah, I would do that.
That ADSB stuff is they're transmitting, we're only receiving. There are things that you could do to jam those, but you'd be getting into the ham operator's license stuff, and tracking down where a transmission's coming from is pretty easy, so that would get you in trouble fairly quickly, I'm sure. So,
yeah,
but with the RTL
receiving
stuff, you can only receive with it, so we don't have to worry about it.
And that's also explains why they're only $20 or even potentially cheaper than that. These are very inexpensive devices, and we're talking about including the antenna and everything you need to get going. Except software, you do need to follow our links and kind of pick up your own knowledge on that. As I mentioned before, they don't even provide drivers for the equipment and for Windows, so the drivers are provided, but you have to download and compile them yourself. So there's all this intermediate steps that need to take place to get you up and running. But it honestly
you have
won't
to remember
take
the
terribly.
drivers for it are probably included, but to watch TV, not to. These are devices where the drivers have been manipulated to receive the radio waves.
As I didn't get any drivers with mine. I'm just saying I didn't get any disk, and there was a link to to download something from their website, but it again would be not what I got the device for. And what we're talking about right now is using them to do these types of things, and you're not going to use their provided software to
Did you check
accomplish.
Device Manager to see what it showed up as?
Prior to these devices actually didn't show up in Device Manager until after I did that driver installation thing with, I forget the name of that tool, but the weird Z tool or something.
It didn't even show up as being plugged in.
I didn't.
don't think you looked.
I
don't think you looked.
I looked. I didn't see anything. I believe it's talking to. It might be talking to them over a network connection or something like that. I'm not clear what's going on.
No, it's a USB connect. It's the USB device. It would have shown up either as an unrecognized device or, like I said, the driver for watching TV was automatically installed.
Let me double check that to see if. But what was your
laptop.
experience? What was your
Plug
experience?
it into your laptop.
Oh, yeah, good call. Good call. Let me do that.
Let's just distract Michael with random things. This was a really weird video to watch. A sneaker wave. Have any of y'all ever heard of that? It's like a massive wave that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I have heard of it.
Huge wave. It's like a very low, fast-going wave. So it's actually a little bit more dangerous than the huge waves because you can see those coming. These are like they're extremely low and just slosh up on land. They'll knock you down. They don't go back out as fast from or at least from this one that I saw. So it's just dangerous that you would be knocked down and carried away with it and could get hurt that way. But from what I saw, it kind of stayed there for a minute and then slowly went back out. So, but that's an interesting thing. That commentary on that video is kind of really funny to listen to too, I thought. Only other thing I have is this stuff. If you're looking at building your own drones, you can actually do that with like a kit like this, which $79, you get a camera and a drone setup, and that one that I linked to is actually under the weight limit for the FAA stuff. And then I also found this other link about CLeanFlight, which is like where you can program your own stuff for the drone. So like you can get down into it in open source style. I thought those were pretty interesting. Maybe something I look more into in the future. But it'd be cool to be able to like build your own drone and add your own mods and upgrade individual pieces and things like that.
Okay, Brantley, it shows up as a bulk-in interface temporarily, and then it appears to be acquiring some driver for it. Shit, but now I don't know. Whew, okay, that happens quickly. What does it maybe show up as a USB composite device, maybe? I don't.
It's a USB device.
But it's you're not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna be.
Are you showing anything that's saying it's no drivers installed?
Briefly, when it's first inserted, there's two devices.
Yes, just like anything that you first insert that doesn't have a driver for it.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it doesn't show that, so it does install a driver for it.
It does install a driver for it pretty quickly, yes.
So it is using the TV tuner style driver.
It's not showing up as that though. It's not showing up as a TV tuner driver or anything.
I just don't know what you're looking at, so we're gonna move past this. But that is why you have to use that Zadig program on Windows, so that it will recognize and install a driver that is basically hacked to allow it to receive radio frequencies instead. So, anyway, What else do we have for today? Zombie Worm. Have you gotten a chance to try out that updated version of Defunct?
Give me a second. I'm gonna throw something out there. I'm upset about something.
Okay. We also got Futures Tech. Looks like he's joined us. So howdy. And if y'all have any questions,
In there, but hi.
yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to interrupt our rambling and talking about
All right, I'm gonna interrupt.
airspace.
So I talked about this a while back. The Brian Krebs security blog about how his PayPal account was hacked by social engineering, like 2 or 3 times in like a couple of hours. Like he was on the phone with PayPal, and the social engineer was on the phone with PayPal doing it again, and he was on the phone with PayPal like an hour later. It was rough, and they were trying to send his stuff to ISIS and stuff, like his money to ISIS and stuff. It was just somebody trying to start some trouble for him because I guess he's in the spotlight. And then he talks about the year before where I told you about that PayPal fraud where I don't even want to go into it, but the way to cost people some serious money, if you were so inclined to cost people serious money. And then, oh my goodness! And then well, the thing that's got me upset now is it's not just PayPal who gives away all of your data; it's Amazon. Where's the freaking link go? Where did that link go? I hate Amazon. Oh man, I'm hating Amazon now, and that's bad because I have like stuff on Amazon. Here we go. Here's the article. So Amazon is just giving out people's data for no reason either. Apparently it's just open season on doing whatever the hell you want in social engineering. And 2-factor auth doesn't mean squat.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be the case when you call up any company, especially large company. You just complain a lot, ask for enough managers, and they'll do whatever you ask them to. I mean, take Michael, for example. He went through 10 managers and got them to do stuff that they're not supposed to do.
In this particular case, the guy's address was given up. The guy's home address was given up. It's just amazing.
That is pretty crazy, and yeah, I think.
And this guy used to work at Amazon. The guy that wrote the article, and they got hacked. He worked at Amazon.
Like e-commerce has jumped off so fast. I think that really doesn't have, like, they're probably just now realizing that they actually need better protocols for that.
Which, in bringing this up, by the way, guys, we may come across as jerks sometimes when dealing with this in customer service and under some circumstances, because if you just email us and we don't know who you are and you ask for something that could be, sensitive, we don't like to, just make assumptions. We would like to figure out, do we have your original email address used for payment? So many people don't know what that was. And I'll be honest, I don't either with a lot of things, but I have records and I will look it up because
we can look
you
it
got to
up.
know these things if that's like the step one anyway. But
yeah, we definitely do try to take your privacy for.
And we don't sell squat either. Here's another. I saw another one about. Oh goodness! Well, this was about a year ago, but it was or it wasn't a year ago. It wasn't that long. How long ago was that? I don't know. I already missed the article, but I saved a screenshot from it or something from this. But that's from from the same blog, but it's actually a funny little anecdote. But it was by a dump site that sells data. And anyway, I think the point of the article that linked to that, at least, was part of another article, was that the dump sites, like a lot of these big aggregate information sites, were hacked, and then all of these details have been for sale, and it's just happening continually. We don't actually participate in any sort of data sharing or dump or any of that mess. If you give PayPal your email address, they got it, and we do too. I'm sorry, they do. But if you give us the email, like for a D72 sub, when we have a different processor, I don't think it go through ultimately. It goes through a couple of things. It ends up in a couple of places, but we don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
We have a credit card processor that does something with it, but we don't do anything with it. If you sign up for our newsletter, that's done through MailChimp. I don't know what they do, but we don't do anything with it. That's our privacy policy. It's happened a couple of times that people have asked for a privacy policy and we don't have one on our website. And I keep meaning to do that here lately, but to be honest, it's never been done before because the reason why is I thought it didn't need to be done. We're techs. We don't like that. And so, we don't do that and participate in that. We don't give your crap away. And we don't even use it for our own purposes half the time when we should be.
Yeah. And not to imply that any of those companies that we go through are doing anything.
No, not to imply that at all, but I don't really know what they're doing. I mean, I know their privacy policy says they're not going to do anything bad, I'm sure, but
yeah, just determining
what is bad.
Look, reading their policies on those things requires a very, some law degree, and we don't make it nearly that complicated, and still provide and protect your privacy probably more than any of those companies would even consider, just for potential future lack of
if anything, you've seen and heard Michael talk if you've watched past episodes, and he wouldn't be working for us if we were not privacy conscious in a little bit. Although we do like to poke fun at him for it.
Okay. Well, the reason
that stuff.
I just wanted to
get really pick on him, but
get a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we're all about 90 to 95% of where you are, Michael. It's just we're not that open about it.
Okay. Well, I want to clarify my earlier
and we don't go that quite little extra bit over the top to where logic just goes out the damn window.
Okay. I want to clarify earlier. Okay, so the devices after the device drivers are installed for them, there's two devices. One is a USB composite device, and the other one is a Realtek 2832U device, generic U device.
Wow, that little side thing just threw him for a loop. He completely skipped over the whole privacy discussion.
No, I heard every word you said. I heard every word you said over the privacy discussion. Yes.
That's because when Proctor posts the Google Streets view of the house, does anyone want to find out what episode that was in?
Stop it. Stop referring to something.
Or random GPS locations or radio database sections. Interesting stuff. Yeah, so lots and lots of good stuff there. But yeah, we definitely do take privacy in the highest regards, and we don't sell anything to anybody. It's not worth it because it always will come back on you.
Yeah, karma.
But I think it is something that e-commerce stuff really needs to take a lesson from the old brick and mortar stuff, because a lot of your brick and mortar places, you have to go in and prove IDs and give billing address stuff and do all kinds of stuff to get some of those things changed. But as soon as you go to the phone, it's whoever's answering the phone for that day.
Very true. Very true.
Oh man, our TM Tech has a virus removal for the CFO on payroll day, and I think it does get a little bit better than that. Definitely not the place you want to have viruses to remove.
And that happens. I hate it when that happens, man. It's always on payroll day because the CFO don't bother using that computer until payroll day. I've had this happen, and I got the logic down. I think it was a hotline. I got that. It was before, but I got the logic down from the person. They said, "I don't use this computer until payroll day because I don't want to mess it up." Well,
If you turn it off and it's messed up when you turn it off, when you turn it back
right.
on again, it will still be messed up.
I know. Like, why
Basically.
am I working on it then? If
Yeah.
payroll's going out anyway. But what was I gonna say?
Yeah, those are the type of people that you probably want to check their computer the day before payroll. Like, just at least swing by their office and say, "Hey, can I just glance over your computer, make sure everything's right?" He sends them no before stories. What are those? Looking that up now.
Okay, good. So it says, okay. My computer's so darn fast. It just installs those drivers like instantaneously. Wow. Oh, Mitnick? Well, what
Yep.
do you want to talk about Mitnick? I'm reading his book right now.
His blog is no before, and he sends stories of that to scare people.
Yeah, let me get the book that I'm reading. This is not a plug for it, but I've actually found it to be a little bit pretentious and annoying. But this is the book oh, that looks horrible.
Yeah, you can't do that. Oh, I did notice. Check out my can with the green screen. I don't have to worry about product placement.
It actually says Ghost in the Wires. If you can sort of make that out. Anyway, Kevin Mitnick. So that's the book I'm reading. It's crap. But anyway, I mean, it's great if you want to hear something that happened, in the 90s and when I, it was always interesting, but I think if I had met him actually in the 90s, I would have thought he was a jerk. And yeah, he was a petty criminal basically. Just wanted to. It seems like he just wanted to do, magic tricks, deceive people, do things he wasn't supposed to be able to do. Just prankster type stuff mostly, at least early on, until it got worse. But but he. I guess it's interesting to see even an idiot can become popular. Because of being used as an example as far as his being thrown in jail for 5+ years or whatever it was.
So Zombie sent another blog, so we'll check that when it comes in. I have not seen it come up yet. What did you have happen there, Zombie Worm?
Um,
And yeah, RTM Tech, social engineering is by far the easiest way to get information out of a company. Typing. All right. Zombie, do you have some details on what happened there? Was it the same issue or problem or
ooh, mouse.
going on? Okay. Did it just say there was some problem deleting those files? And when you did a rescan, did it see if those files were actually deleted? Because I did see sometimes that it would say it couldn't delete, but then actually did delete those.
Whoa. Oh,
What?
weird. Did anybody? Is anybody watching the live stream?
I am on YouTube and it's still going. It was
Okay.
interrupted for a
Did you
moment.
see? You didn't see a pop up with what Proctor and Nick were talking about just then, did you?
I'm not seeing it now.
Okay. Keep an eye out. The only thing is, when that window popped up, it seemed like XSplit put something around it, and I didn't see it in the broadcast anywhere, but I was a little bit concerned about that.
Okay. So you checked hidden files, wanted to delete, it couldn't delete them, gave you a message, and it rescanned, and they weren't there, or they still were there?
Anticipation. Take your time, zombie.
Well, he's on a couple minute lag, so. Or not a couple minutes, but a couple minutes in impatient time. Tried them the other night, and it scans them on new. It flags them on new scans too. All right. Well, let's first check for the 0.19, I think it is, and then we'll look more at those logs when they come in. Sometimes it takes our ticket system a couple minutes to actually pick up emails. So.
Yes, I'm just verify that you are running, the versions you're running for us, please. Both of D7.2 and of Defunk. Yeah, no problem. We're patient, and I guess we should probably fill up the airtime while he's taking care of what he needs to take care of.
I think we'll see if we can get Nick to add some more debugging stuff there, because I just looked at the logs and still not a lot of information there. So we will look more into that and work with Nick to see if we can get some further debugging to try to figure out what's going on there. Because it looks like you can reproduce it, just we can't reproduce it without having your system there. So. You're muted, Nick.
You're muted.
I need to be told that again, Mike. Then, if it's reproducible, then tell me. I'll reproduce it.
And I think he's able to reproduce it on his system. We haven't been able to reproduce it on ours.
Yeah.
Then,
yeah.
But I was thinking maybe.
Is it just one? Is it several? Is it one of some of these guys that customers? Can we remote in? Is it something we can look at? Because I'm curious.
Yeah. We would love to investigate it if you could set up something we could team view into, maybe.
Like after the show.
Yeah. Let us complete the show.
Right now, though, I do want to talk about something to fill a little bit of time. I just threw out there last week. We had a guy, a former customer, return to us, return home to the flock, and welcome him back. This is the original article with him in it, and some years ago, and he really got a lot of buzz stirred up about D7 because the article was about him and his disabilities and overcoming these things and his accomplishments. And he talks a lot about how D7 helped him do that. And so that was something that kind of helped in the first year or so get everything going. And that was really awesome. It was awesome that we could help him then, or it was I then, and awesome that he comes back, and hopefully we can help him now continually. But there's more than one way that we can help him just with our software, because now we have a lot of customers. So I wanted to throw this out there. This is the second link is to a fundraiser site for Kevin, and is to raise, and he's severe cerebral palsy, and this fundraiser is to raise a robotic arm for him. He's a technician, I'm sorry, and business owner. And this will raise a robotic arm for him so he can do things other than poke things with his pin on his forehead. So the robotic arm thing would be awesome, and it's a lot of money, so every little bit helps. And I thought I would pimp him a little bit and his cause, and just mention that now. And we actually we talked about it last week, and then it kind of got slipped under the radar. But I just confirmed with Proctor that we could donate to his campaign as well. So money where mouth, but everybody else should just every little bit helps. So help the guy out. I'm done.
Definitely a good cause there.
Yeah, it's a good cause. Glad that we could help out. And if you make a donation, it is a tax deductible donation, so you can save a little money off Uncle Sam and help a good cause at the same time.
I will actually say I did reach out to the people just to confirm they are a 501c3, and they provide their donations through PayPal, and that's always wonky. But if you donate more than 100, they provide you a tax receipt. They'll do it. They'll automatically. They'll do it upon request if you donate less than 100. So
Very cool. I'm not sure where Michael was going with that response, Zombie Worm. So I don't think that has a big thing.
it is very cool and inspirational. Is an understatement.
It's generally good to keep a backup copy of D7 too, and yes, he's inspirational. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yes, backup copies of D7 too are good.
Yeah.
But as I said, we'll send you a response in the ticket, and we'll work out something more and see if we can work with you a little bit more one-on-one to see what's going on and work out the issue. All right. Well, we are at our hour limit. Are we going to break it in an hour today, or do any of y'all have questions out there? Futures Tech.
We're here to answer them.
Martin, Phoenix PC Repair, RTM Tech, Zombie Worm. We already know your question. We'll be working with you on that. But if you have any other questions, feel free to jump in and ask. We'll give a couple minutes here, probably before we wrap up. I know our past few days have been going rather long, so.
Yeah. But we've attracted quite an audience here in the last week or so.
We have. It's very nice. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're adding something to your day.
And not taking too much away from it, like we were.
Yeah. I think it's come a long way. I think we're up to almost 100 now. We're right around that 100 mark or so on that playlist.
Oh, Zombie Worm wants to know if we completed the.
We picked a name. We haven't set up the team yet, so. We are up to 91 episodes on the Foolish Tech Show, which includes a couple of the Happy Foolish Fun Hour episodes. You're muted again, Nick.
What name did you pick?
The Foolish Attempt.
Okay. I didn't, because someone someone did protest, but
who protested that?
I forgot who, but someone did. Yes, you can.
D7.2 in safe mode in XP all the way up through Windows 10. Actually works really well in that mode, and it also works on Windows PE disks. So if you haven't set up one of those or tried it before, that's a super easy way to get an offline access to that Windows copy. So that's when basically like viruses and malware and things can't even start up because they're not even being run. It's like attaching a hard drive. So using Windows PE, if you have some really bad, nasty ones, can give you some good scans.
I love the Windows PE stuffs. I love it.
Yeah, that was a good option.
There are very few things in D7 that aren't or D7.2 that aren't well, there's a lot that's compatible with winPE and offline on the offline tab. But as far as the internal, well, there's not a lot on the offline tab. As far as the internal functions go, most everything will work offline. D7. Even the original was designed from the ground up to run on a live running version of Windows that it's running from, and to run also on a version of Windows or WinPE that has the version you're working on attached to it as a separate hard drive partition, et cetera, drive letter, whatever. So it was always designed from day one to do that with most everything that could be done. And that includes loading the registry hives of the offline system, and then changing the values and associating everything in the code that operates on something to those new registry values with the loaded values and not the native ones. Files, directories, everything is designed to go on a variable letter. But yeah, and before that, safe mode too. Yeah. The only thing that I mean, obviously, there's networking issues in safe mode. Like, there's no networking, so safe mode with networking would be the best bet for most of the functionality of D7.2 that involves anything internet, like downloading an app that's not there or whatever. But and in fact, I should elaborate. And one of the things updated with the new 4.1.1 of BootSafe and the new D7 modules is the repair of Windows 10, though it's not 100% complete, but 8 and below at least, and most of Windows 10 sections of the registry that configure Windows to start items in safe mode. Your various services and drivers that Windows allows to start in safe mode, those registry keys are often damaged or removed by malicious software. By default, D7.2 will repair those before it ever even thinks about moving into rebooting it to safe mode if you use its functionality. So, but like I said, it may or may not work on Windows 10, just because depending on the extent of the damage of what the malware deleted, basically. But I'm working on that actually for a new update here soon. So, but yes, works in safe mode too. Totally thought about that. And in fact, just a couple other things. Some keys are added to that. Like some keys are added to the safe mode keys, even like for Windows installer. So you can like install and uninstall programs in safe mode, stuff like that. D7.2 does all of that automatically as well. You don't even have to think about it.
So RTM Tech asked about, do we recommend any other rescue CDs, Avira, F-Secure? And I did a lot of testing on rescue CDs a while back, and basically my setup was I super infected a system and then ran through about 12 different rescue CDs just to see what they would find and how quickly they would find them and things like that. And in my testing, the Kaspersky and Dr. Live web rescue were probably the best ones. They found the most more often than any of the other ones, especially when it was first done. I reran the test 3 months, 6 months, and a year later, and they still outperformed all the rest. Some of the other ones I tested were AVG Rescue Disk, the Trinity Rescue Disk, and the F-Disk, the Avira, and a few other ones. I think I had the ESET one in there as well. But as far as ease of use, Dr. Live Web and Kaspersky's were definitely the easiest ones to use. Now, it is good to mention those are almost all using Linux boot environment, so D72 is not going to work in those. But if you want to run those first, scan with them, clean up any viruses or malware, then use a Windows PE CD and scan with D72's antivirus stuff and other features. You can do a lot more cleaning and things like that with it. And then you can boot into safe mode, clean up even more stuff with D72, and then boot into normal mode and clean up even more stuff sometimes. So that is a good point that we do want to mention too, is even if you do things in safe mode, normally you do want to go back and rerun at least some of your scans in normal mode to make sure things are clean and clear. So
Definitely. The safe mode thing, I use safe mode when I have to. Otherwise, I don't usually. I like to see everything running the way it's supposed to be, and I like to know that I can work, and I like to attempt to work with everything running the way it's supposed to be, other than the malicious software, which is what I use our tools for. If I can do everything in normal mode, I often will. But the thing about safe mode that Brantley was just saying, and the reasons for that is since a lot of processes and things aren't running in safe mode, a lot of your anti-whatever applications are designed to actually detect through the quote-unquote heuristics that they have. Often is a set of logic rules that says, "Oh, I see this process is running, or I see this key has a handle to it, or this file is here, so I'm going to check some other things." Well, it doesn't know to check those other things if something is not running, to begin with, or something is, not loaded into memory or in the what have you. So that completely cuts out all of that, all of the benefit of those scanners in that area. Which is also, I mean, it's very similar to using them offline, even if you could do that. And most of them don't support that, but even if they did, they wouldn't be as effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So normally, if you do have to run in safe mode, it's always best to go back in normal mode, and
Yeah.
especially if you're having to run in an offline mode, go back and do it. Those rescue CDs and using those, it has about the same effect as using a winPE CD and using their scanners through D72. Because essentially they're offline the same route. They're normally going to be using the same definitions, and sometimes it'll get even more because they'll update while you're on the winPE CD, while some of those rescue CDs don't always update. Some of them do have functions to update, but some of them, like I think Windows Defender's rescue CD, which that was actually a pretty good one in my comparison as well. You had to download a new ISO and update it every time you wanted updates for it. So definitely check into those. But all of those things, you're kind of looking at adding more time on your repair. So if you can do it in normal mode and get everything cleaned up in normal mode, that'll definitely save you time, especially if you're in the CFO payroll computer situation.
Yeah.
If you can run it in normal mode, you're probably better off starting there and seeing if everything can get cleaned up that way. And then if you find signs of rootkits or anything like that, that may be where you would definitely want to fall back to a rescue CD or a winPE CD. So. Cool. So yeah, that was excellent question. Thank you for that, RTM Tech. Great way to end the show, I believe. And if we don't have anything else, wait, Zombie Worm did post an image. I completely skipped that. Let's see what his image is.
By the way, Brantley, we did receive, I don't know if I mentioned, we did receive Zombie's ticket.
I know, I looked at this.
Yeah.
Never any pressure in those situations. Tech.
Man, I'm gonna look at this. If you say you got a zombie ticket, does he have his
Futures Tech has something.
Okay. I was gonna say, does he have? Can we do the remote in thing, or should I stick around? Otherwise, I'm knocking on for the day.
That's fine.
Well,
We'll take care of.
I've been working since 4:30.
Yeah.
No, don't take over. If he's got the, I want to see it. I
He
don't want
posted
that.
2 images in there. You might want to look at those.
Okay.
See what he's looking at. Eric has a question. He said he's asking about D7 and safe mode. What's your interesting issue there? Working on an XP machine. I feel for you there. Won't let you boot into user profiles.
So what happens?
Yeah, are we getting an error message or something from that effect?
We may be able to use D7 in an offline mode to resolve that, or
Kicks him right back out when he boots into a user profile. So it auto logs you out.
Yeah. So this is oh, I remember this. It's been a long time. All right, give me 1 second to look this up again.
Does that have anything to do with that user?
Yeah. I mean, it's a registry thing, basically. Yeah.
That's vague to me, but I can tell you what'll cause that. Is D7 sets an automatic login and it forces the login through the registry settings. But if the user profile is corrupted or something and logs you out, then it's just going to do that.
But D7 didn't cause this problem. This is what he's trying to fix with D7.
Yeah, check disk is the only option you have in XP. They don't have SFC in XP.
I'd hope you wouldn't be able to corrupt a user profile with using D7, but
Okay, here, I think I got a KB article on it.
see, my first thing to do in that situation, to be honest, is now that I know if you're just going to use D7,
Here it is. There's the solution.
take your solution shot. My first thing to do is go grab the ntuser.dat from the profile directories and replace that with a backup from Vault and Shadow Copy.
And actually, it's because of that article that Michael posted is because of the shell and user int. And if you used D7 and malware scan, that would actually show you those 2 registry entries and allow you to replace them in the offline mode. So if you boot into winPE and go into malware scan and offline mode and have it on the offline disk.
Oh, that's nice. These files may be deleted by spywares. Wow, and they've got the EV certificate. This actually is on Microsoft's site. And they're using poor spywares.
Oh, and you're right.
It does say
XP does have SFC. I did not know that. I thought that was something different.
The user init.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the shell value for explore.exe, that can be gone. And that'll cause that.
So you could just anything to remotely edit the registry. Futures Tech will resolve this issue. And
D7 to the defunct malware, defunct or malware scan in D7 will do that offline. We'll pull up those keys, and it will actually even it'll see that they're invalid or bad, and it will even like mark them red, and they'll be like it'll try to fix them, or it'll be a checkbox to fix it.
Yeah. Now, of course, that does mean you'll have to get that up and running. Either PE boot disk would be ideal for that with D7 on it, right, John?
I've seen this apparently. What, Michael?
So in order to accomplish that on the same computer without having to maybe take out the drive.
Oh yeah, like a winPE.
Yeah. Just anything where you're running the offline tool, anything that can run the offline tools in D7, basically.
or even just anything that can load the registry offline, and you can go to those keys.
Yeah.
D7 to the defunct and malware scan in D7, they will load the registry automatically and scan those keys.
You can do it with the registry editor too, you know,
But
directly. But
well, yes, you can directly, but also in D7 too, there is simply a load registry offline.
oh, great. He
Load
says
offline.
he says he has a
Simply
bootable PE disk. He has a bootable PE disk.
So, and it will load the registry and then fire that up for you from the offline environment. And of course, it gets not just the local machine, the system and software, it also gets all the user hives too. And you'll want to look through all of your user hives too to make sure that there's not a rogue shell value. Another thing actually is not that the shell value is removed necessarily, but is rogue. It's replaced by something different. And that something different could have easily been removed by anti-malware software, effectively breaking Windows.
And that would be where you need the system file checker to replace it.
Yeah.
Or a Windows CD that you can just copy.
Well, no. Usually with this, it's just the registry. Though. I mean, it's probably just it's probably just the setting. It's probably not even the files.
So what else can we solve for you today?
Well, we haven't said we solved that yet. So
Yeah, come
yeah,
on.
let's go ahead and wrap up for today. We will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're gonna work with Zombie Worm a little bit offline, and
Just to say, I think those files, Zombie Worm, and just for the record, before we let the show go, I think those files they're either terribly in use by a protected system process, which it will not be able to kill them or delete them if it can't unlock the file handles, if it can't get a handle to the process with the handle to the file, because it's a protected system process from LSASS. That's a possibility, and I think the files that you've screenshot in those locations may probably be actual legitimate files, but we'll look into that further in any case. I didn't want to type that.
yeah, no, that's good. All right, so we will check more into your issue, Zombie Worm, and otherwise we'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. So join us then, and not a problem, Futures Tech. Thanks for the question, and thanks everyone again for your questions. We are definitely here for that, so feel free to ask, and we will see y'all all tomorrow.
Bye-byes.
Michael, if you want to take her on out.
Okay, will do, folks. Take care. It's nice chatting today.